Okay, take two. The first battery was so cold it just died instantly. That might happen to this one too, because it was freezing cold last night. Pushed the limits of my sleeping bag here. It was probably around 30. The sleeping bag is comfort at 35, survival at 25. Definitely colder in the shelter even than it was in the Smokies because we didn't have the fire or as many people. It's like 7:30. It took me forever to get out of my sleeping bag because it was even colder outside. And I'm gonna try to get going soon. There's a couple guys here going back to Trail Days, and if they have an extra seat, I'm gonna ride back with them. They still got to talk to their right and find out. And if not, I'm gonna push on. I got to stop in town within the next day or two to resupply. But right now, I'm gonna make some hot coffee and try to warm up before I get going. And hopefully the sun being out will warm things up. Alright, back on trail. That sun is really warming everything up. Oh, there's another pony. Came back here. Guess he was looking for food after everybody left. And plan right now is Bodega, part of the Dirty Pun Trap family. His dad is picking him and Lieutenant Dan and Timon up, and we're trying to find out if they have room for one more. If they do, I'm gonna hitch with them back to Damascus and go to Trail Days. And if they don't, I'm just gonna keep going. And not take the 3 days off, but we'll just have to find out. Right now there's no cell signal, so we can't find out, but they got my number, and I'm gonna eat lunch at the road where they're stopping. So if it all works out, I'll let you know, and if it doesn't, obviously you'll know that too. And I'm dodging huge mud puddles here, so I'm gonna sign off for now and let you know if anything else cool happens. All right. Yeah, so just walking along the trail, thinking about how much better I feel today and this nice warm sunshine, and I came across this perfect metaphor for yesterday. Frozen pile of horse crap. That's about how I feel about yesterday, when the forecast when I left said it would be 60 degrees and I got there. It was 30 degrees, howling wind and snowing, and I was freezing cold all day. So, you know, the trail provided a metaphor. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Some of them are sleeping. That one practically looks dead next to that brown one, if you can even see it. There's another one real close to the path behind that tree. And if I go through this little thing here, I'm facing all of them. But no glory to the timid. And the reason they do this like this is because the horse cannot get through, but the backpacker can. All right, maybe I should keep filming in case I get another attack, but I think it'll be okay. All right. So far, they're not even looking at me, but I'm worried because that one that's lying down appears to be a baby, and we know how mamas protect their babies, but I think I'm past them. All right. which is known as the Scales. And basically it gets its name because back in the, I think, early 20s, late 20s, around then anyway, this area was one of the richest logging areas in the country. I may have mentioned that yesterday when I was going down the Damascus Creeper Trail. And so they logged all the mountains, and then once the trees were gone, they started using the land to graze cattle. And so they figured out that they could get a better price for their cattle if they sold them at the top of the mountain before they lost all their weight walking down. So they created that little area. It's kind of like a place to sell the cattle and weigh them and everything. And then that industry went away when this became parkland. And then it's funny because earlier I was wondering, I knew how they managed the ponies because I saw a sign for it, but I didn't know how they got here. Well, it turns out they were deliberately introduced in the 60s in order to essentially maintain the area as kind of a bald and to keep the vegetation from growing. And they seem to have been quite successful at that. And then every year now they round up as many of the ponies as they can and check them for health. And then it says they sell some of them to manage the herd. I'm not going to speculate who they sell them to, but I suspect it's not people who are taking them home as pets. But who knows? I don't. Anyway, just thought that was a little interesting fact, especially about how the ponies got here, because I was thinking about it myself no more than an hour ago. All right. I think I have a strong chance of getting my feet wet on this crossing, but supposedly the GoPro is waterproof, so here we go. Oh great, a rocker too. Rock hopping skills. All right. I guess that's the remains of the washed out bridge. I successfully crossed before videoing. That way, you know, if I fell and died, it wouldn't be on film. But that's the falls. Stepping stones, nice and dry. And it doesn't look too dangerous if you were to fall off. So, made it across.